And the Jewish people need to understand, if we want rights, we need to fight for them and we need to earn them. And it's very simple for the Jewish world in diaspora. It's either you fight back now and you win, or you leave now and you come back home.
Well, joining us now is Jewish rights activist Rudy Rachman. You yourself were a student at Columbia University. What was your experience like there as a Jewish student?
The message that I have is the solution to this problem is not going to be short-term, it's going to be long-term, and it's not going to come from the top down, from the bottom up. We can't expect politicians like Eric Adams or the Speaker of the House or the President or whoever else in political power, or the administration, the Dean of the university, the President of the university, to take actions against the majority of the people. If the majority of the people have been convinced that Israel is the wrong thing and the Jewish people should be ostracized, then this is what they're going to support, even if they don't necessarily personally agree with it. So if we'd like to see change, it has to come from the students, not from the organizations. The organizations are resources for the students, and what the students need to do is from the bottom up, shift the pop culture. I took a lot of inspiration in my time from the civil rights movement. You know, it's pretty crazy that we go back 67 years ago and people of color did not have equal rights just based on their pigmentation of their skin. But yet today, if we were to go to a university like Columbia and someone were to say something racist, they would be automatically ostracized from university. Yet 60 years ago, that was a common view of the majority of the population. So how did we go from point A to point B? Well, it was from the bottom up. People stood up, fought for their rights, earned the rights, bled, sweat, and even some of them died in order to make sure to shift society to the direction in which it became. And the Jewish people need to understand, if we want rights, we need to fight for them and we need to earn them. And it's very simple for the Jewish world in diaspora. It's either you fight back now and you win, or you leave now and you come back home.
Now, you're seeing a lot of people arguing online that there are also Jews taking part in these protests. We saw it in that video, who are against the continuation of the Israel-Hamas war. What is your response to that?
So there's a class I took in university that talks about women in abusive relationships and the ways that women can respond to that. And I think it's very much so telling to our situation. So let's say a woman is in an abusive relationship with a husband who's beating her. Way number one, a woman can respond to that is she can fight back, defend herself, remove herself from the situation and make sure it doesn't happen again. Way number two is to make excuses, pretend it wasn't such a big deal, it was just one time. And way number three is to blame herself and say, no, it was my fault, I should have done this, I should have done that. And that's the same way Jews are dealing with anti-Semitism. You have some Jews who stand up and fight back, which aren't in the majority. You have most Jews who put their heads down and pretend it's not a big problem, or say, oh, it's against Israel, it's not against me, I'm a Jew, I'm not connected to Israel. And then you have some Jews from the far left to the far right to Natola Kalta and wherever they exist that side with their oppressor and come to the conclusion that they need to be with the side that's choosing to oppress their people, and either consciously or subconsciously thinking that by doing that, they will be protected and not subjugated to the oppression that they're seeing faced to the larger Jewish community. And so this is where they're coming from. If I saw a woman that was blaming herself for her beating husband, I wouldn't call her a self-hating woman. I would feel bad at her being broken from her trauma. And so when we look at other Jews that are broken due to generational trauma that we carry, or due to social pressures where they're told that if you support Israel, you'll be ostracized, so be against Israel, we need to help those Jews become empowered and to heal them from their situation.
All right, so final question, quick answer here because we're running low on time. How do you think the Jewish community needs to respond right now? What needs to take place?
So it's going to come from the students. It's going to come from the grassroots, from the bottom up, and it's simple. Empower, narrate, protect. Empower means give the tools to the students, Jews and our non-Jewish allies, to be able to debate, to be able to do public speaking, to be able to know all the counter-narratives against Israel, to be able to create coalitions or break coalitions. Number two is narrate, be able to tell the story in the language of your generation. And number three is protect. Any and every movement against Israel, against the Jewish people from every side of the spectrum, we need to go out there and expose them for what they are.
All right, Rudy Rachman, thank you for joining us on I-24 News.